What is going on, squad? Today we are covering all back exercises on the Isochain. It's 5 of them. They are really awesome, and one of them is actually my favorite exercise to do of all time on the Isochain. And we're going to start with that one, and that is the seated row. This is one of my favorite exercises to do in the gym. I feel like it gets right to the point, hits the rhomboids, hits all of the lat structure here, just builds a huge, big, beefy back. And when I found that the Isochain was omnidirectional and we could hit it from different angles, and I found that we could do the seated row, man, sign me up. I wanted those heavy hitter numbers on the Isochain. So as you can see here, just laying down on the floor, so feet are shoulder width apart. You can do underhanded, you can do my favorite, overhanded, but the key here is to make sure that the chin is up and that we're driving the elbows back. Too many times do I see people lean back in the gym on the Isochain. It's an easy mistake to make, all right? So just want to make sure that you're upright and we're driving the elbows back. We're not keeping the elbows here and leaning our body back. You're gonna notice that you get some higher numbers if you lean back, right? But it's not a lean back exercise. It's like driving the elbows back. Even doing this and following along with me here, you can feel your back start to contract. All right, that's exactly what we want to happen on the Isochain. Think about all the power potential that we can have with a strong back. Speaking of strong back, we're gonna go to number 2, which is the deadlift. The deadlift is an amazing exercise that's all about total body power, but a lot of that is back. All right, so if you've ever seen people blowing out their back with a deadlift, usually their core is not good, their hip hinge is trash, their lower back is trash, or the worst of all the options, they're cat backing, so their form is trash. So with the deadlift, what I like to use for the Isochain at least is a mixed grip. Now, if you have straps and you're not really too worried about training your grip right now, you can go ahead and get straps. There's a link in the description here for a No Limit Amazon store. You can get straps there if you're wondering what type to get. You can also get hooks, whatever works for you. All right, but if you want to just work on your raw grip strength, so really work that brachioradialis that you're pulling into the lift, then I actually would advise you to go double overhand, so regular conventional grip. And then as we're pulling, we're making sure we're keeping the core tight and the glutes tight. Having the glutes tight is really going to help with that driving force up from the bottom of the chain, up in through your hands and all the way up. Kinetic chain. If you haven't seen the kinetic chain video on the Isochain, here's the link right here. Go and check that one out. It's awesome. It explains the kinetic chain in like perfect detail for all these isometric exercises, especially the overcoming ones. So we're gonna go into the next one, and that is the bent over row. Now, this is actually one of my least favorite exercises. Not that it's a bad exercise, I just prefer not to do it in the gym, and so I think that carries over here. But it's a great exercise if you ever want to just vary it up. You're tired of doing seated rows. Seated rows, I believe, is the best exercise to work your back on the Isochain. I don't know, you might debate that. Go ahead and comment down below. But I think it is. Like, just bang for buck, blow your freaking back up with the seated row. But if you're just tired of that, you want to do it in a standing variation, and we can do the standing bent over row. So it's performed just like it is in the gym. You just want to make sure that feet are shoulder width apart, right? And that we have a nice hip hinge, right? Tightening up the core as we're driving the bar up, okay? Great exercise. Honestly, I just say it's second to the seated row, personal opinion, but it's another good one to put in your program if you're bored or you just need a different training stimulus. Number 4, the clean pull. Clean pull, I feel like this one's a little slept on. I'm actually doing this one in the Bruce Lee exercise. If you haven't seen Bruce Lee's isometric Isochain exercise program, here's the link right here. It's a little bit of an old video at this point, but go ahead and check that out. It's what kind of got a lot of us on the squad into this whole Isochain thing, is the fact that Bruce Lee was doing it. And one of his 8 exercises was the clean pull. So it's almost like a upright row, but on your tiptoes. The traps, lateral and posterior delts, and the entire upper back complex get lit up with the clean pull. Great exercise. If you're looking to strengthen up your brachioradialis, forearms, great exercise. And then, of course, because we're on our tiptoes, right, we're hitting up the calf, so the gastroc and the soleus are also getting lit up. Good exercise if you want to switch that up. If you're kind of focusing on like total body power, like let's just say you have like a deadlift and cleans in your program, like they kind of go, and hack lift on the same Isochain program. These are the type of exercise that you want to do. Multi-joint compound lifts on the Isochain. You want to talk about getting stupid strong? Sometimes I don't think we realize. And the last one, my favorite trap exercise. Oh, you can bet your behind I'm gonna say the shrug. The shrug is, in my opinion, the best trap exercise. Now, I did come up with the rear delt exercise on the Isochain. That's one that I personally came up with that mimics the rear delt fly. Here's a link right here. If you've never seen that before, you can go ahead and check that out. I do personally prefer the shrug. I feel like it's a lot more direct, targets the muscle in question. It's something that you feel immediately. The rear delt, you kind of got to get a little finicky with that exercise, but the shrug, I mean, you know exactly what you're doing as soon as you start. Make sure the chain link's right, make sure the core is tight, all right, and then we're not bending our elbows with the shrug, that we're keeping everything in alignment as we're going into the contraction here to hit the trapezius muscles. But there's another one. If you want to get stupid strong, you know what? If you are a fighter of some type and you want to really work on reducing the percentage of your head getting wobbled by a hit, work on your traps. All right. This overcoming isometric training is the greatest for strength production, right? So if your traps are as solid as a board, it's not to say that you're like immune to getting knocked out. You just better duck your chin. But the chances go significantly down when the traps are strong. All right, guys? Those are the 5 back exercises on the Isochain. And remember, this is just covering the upper back and lats. This is not including the RDO, which is lower back. All right, guys? Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, be sure to drop a like. If you're not yet part of NoLimitSquad, hit that subscribe button. Come join the squad with us. See you next video. Peace.